Hey everyone, Andy Rafael from eTeknix.com, and I know I say this in so many videos, today we're going to do something a little bit different, but this time we really are. We're building a PC, but not for the sake of just building it. There's a very good reason why we're doing this one, because we're building it and we're giving it to one, I guess, lucky person in the sense that they are getting a PC, but someone who has been on our Discord for a while, who's been a patron for quite a while as well, and I'm going to build him a PC and surprise him with it. Yeah. Let me tell you all about it soon. But first, quick word from this video's sponsor. I wish these files would transfer faster. Come on! Whoa, is that the FireCuda 510 NVMe drive with its blistering fast speeds of 3450 megabytes a second read, 3200 megabytes a second write, and capacities of up to 2 terabyte? I can have these files transferred in no time. And if I'm looking for the ultimate performance, I could even get the 4th generation FireCuda 520. I better check the link in the description to find out more details. First things first, we have a lot of parts here, and some of them are peripherals, which we don't need, well, frankly, we don't quite need at all until we actually go and surprise the person that we're going to go deliver this to. Now, the person I'm talking about, his name is Gookie, or Richard. So Richard has been on our Discord for a long time, and he's also been on, he's also been a Patreon supporter for a long time as well. And he reached out to me because basically his graphics card went bang, and he asked if I could help sort him out with a graphics card. I then thought, what about if I took this one step further? So that's when I actually started reaching out to brands, and one of them, as you can clearly see, is Nzxt. But my whole point behind it was, he has had a very rough time over the last couple of years. Now, I can go through a few things. It's probably easier if I just, get up on screen exactly kind of what's gone on with Richard and what's kind of, been his situation for the last couple of years, which predominantly has been health related, mainly to do with his heart and things like that. So I actually reached out to his daughter on Facebook and managed to get some information as to what he's been going through. I also managed to get some pictures of his current system, which I'm going to admit, Richard, you're going to be watching this video. I get it. It's an old system, and I'm going to go through some of the specs. I mean, we have a eTeknix case. I think it was a Shinobi. We have a Intel 3570K, MSI Z77A G45 motherboard, 8 gig of DDR3, a GTX 970 that obviously went pop, Corsair AIO, maybe a H55, and a Corsair CX600M power supply. Now, that doesn't mean, Richard, I know you've had health issues and things, doesn't mean you can, neglect your system, because it is very dirty. And that was kind of the first thing that I noticed. And I think I actually said to myself before I started filming this video, I was like, please, Andy, don't kind of look at his system and think, this is one of them videos where I kind of rip people's systems apart and stuff. So that's about all I'm going to say on the matter, and that's basically it. But as I mentioned, I got in touch with his daughter. She basically told me what he'd gone through, and it just, I mean, from a glance, I guess, from what we saw on Discord and within the community, he had heart attack after heart attack after heart attack, and it just stemmed on from there. And one of his only kind of real vices, one of the things that he enjoys, is gaming. Now, Richard also has a son who is, from my understanding, severely autistic, and with that, his son games with him as well. So this PC isn't just for Richard, it's actually for his son as well. And this is one of the really kind of cool things. Even though he was in hospital and wasn't working, money was tight, he still kept up his Patreon pledge. He was still a Patreon supporter of ours, and that's what I love about kind of our whole community. It's just, I wasn't expecting that whatsoever. He even told me that the one thing he made sure his wife did while he was in hospital was to keep up with the Patreon pledge. I mean, that's just the sort of thing that really does hit you. It really does. Right, less of the kind of, soppy stuff out the way. Let's talk about the build. So, Nzxt supported in a very big way. So we've got the N7 Z690 motherboard. We also reached out to Intel, and Intel supported us with an i7 12700K. Now, one part I will talk about is the graphics card, because you're probably all going, well, hold up, Z690, but this graphics card's quite old. There is a reason behind that, and I will kind of get onto it as time goes on. Seagate, we reached out to them and we said, look, we need an SSD. We need something that can, you know, house all of the latest games that he wants to play. So yeah, hopefully we're going to see him on a lot more sort of game nights and things like that. So SSD wise, like I mentioned, we reached out to Seagate and we said we need something that is going to be fast and is going to give the capacity. So that's why we've got the FireCuda 510 2TB drive, which is, you know, it's going to be more than enough for anyone, to be fair. Now, we also reached out to the distributors for TEAMGroup, which is Target Components, and we said, again, we need something for this build. Can you help out? We knew as well from our very stealthy, sly, investigative work that Richard does like RGB, but that kind of led us to the memory that we're using here today, which is the TEAMGroup Extreme ARGB. I mean, literally the whole thing on both sides is RGB. So yeah, we took RGB and we put more RGB on your RGB. So we have got 16 gig of, I think it's 3200 megahertz memory, which again, more than enough for kind of the average modest kind of build that we're looking at here. But we do need to get it into the case. And this was a funny one, because when it came to the case, the video came out, and if you haven't seen the video that we did on the H7 series of cases from Nzxt, definitely go and check it out. And Richard, or Gookie, actually ended up watching it, and he said, oh, I really like the look of these cases. I was like, yes, this is what I want to hear, because this is kind of what I'm thinking. He said he would want to go for this one. So we have the H7 Elite in kind of full RGB, absolutely everything, really, really nice looking case. Let's take this apart and try and get everything built into it. So one of the main reasons why we went with Nzxt for basically everything was I wanted everything to match really, really nicely, especially when it comes to like RGB and things like that. It's just, you know, very nice having like an ecosystem, and Nzxt were kind of the one brand who I really, really like their products for starters. And then secondly, they basically have a product for everything. I mean, motherboard, case, power supply, AIO, microphone, mouse, keyboard. We went with as much Nzxt stuff as we physically could. Right, let's talk about the power supply. So recently, Nzxt released a new power supply as part of their C series, but as gold rated as well. So we've actually got the C850 gold. Okay, so the two cables that I'm talking about are the EPS power connectors, which are going to go right at the top of where our CPU is. So we've got an 8-pin and also a 4-pin. So we're going to split this one apart. We're going to poke this through the top, of which there is a lot of room. And then we're going to be able to plug this into there and do exactly the same with the 8-pin. So yeah, we've got all our cables, we can get that in, and then we can actually get our power supply in and then start focusing on front panel headers, which this case, just like every single Nzxt case, make the front panel header so much easier to deal with. Okay, so with all the cables in, we can just slide our power supply through here and screw it in from the back. Okay, so let's talk about the AIO, and as I mentioned, RGB. RGB makes everything better. So that is why we went with the Nzxt Kraken Z73 RGB. Okay, so with the AIO, there are a couple of things that we need to do. The first one is getting the back plate into place, which we are using Intel. So we just need to make sure that we're using the appropriate bracket for it. And then we can take the brackets, which are specifically made for Intel's 1700 socket, and screw them down into place. So that's essentially one part of the AIO. The next part is actually putting the radiator into the top of the case. And the beauty of this is this part comes off. You can plonk that down there. The dust filter then comes off, and you basically kind of get full roaming ability to put the radiator in there. So let's get these fans on, get them connected, and get it installed inside the case. Okay, now with the AIO, now that the fans are in, we do actually get these tiny little cables, and this is probably one of the coolest parts about this whole thing. So on the fans, we do have an in and an out. So we can put the out with the out connector on this fan, clicks in, and then the in can go over here and connect into that one. So all we're doing now essentially is taking the RGB power side of things into this fan, and then we're going to do exactly the same with this other connector. Put the out into there, the in into here, like so. And then we actually get quite a long cable, so we can then take that one, put it into the in over here. And then that is going to go into our Hue 2 connector, which actually comes included with the case. So once everything's in the case, that will sit in. RGB will power into this fan, power into that fan, and then power into that fan. And then if you wanted to, you could always, add more fans and connect them in if you do end up getting more of these cables. Okay, so pulling the cables through, we can then look to line up our AIO, and with the included washer and screw, we can start looking if everything's lined up where we want it to be, at getting our first one into place. Then get our second washer and screw, install and fit in the opposite corner, and then do all the rest of them, put the top back on, and the AIO is basically half done. Okay, so radiator's in, top panel is back on. Now, some AIOs, depending on obviously what you're using, will come with thermal paste pre-applied, and luckily in this case, it's exactly that. Don't listen to the Verge, you do not need more, this is more than sufficient. So we can get all of our cables out of the way, and we will sort them out in a little bit, but we can now look to put that exactly where we want it to be. We can grab one of the thumb screws and start tightening it down into place. But now we can actually start looking at the graphics card. There is another guy on our Discord, another follower of eTeknix, who actually gave me this graphics card. Now, his name was Carlin, and what he actually, his whole kind of situation, what happened with him is he won a graphics card. He approached me and basically said, I've just won this. I want you to give away my old graphics card, which happened to be this MSI branded, it is a reference spec, Radeon 5700 XT. The whole point of it was, and it was quite a few months ago now because I have been planning this for a little while, was give this away to someone who deserves it. And that's where everything kind of stemmed from. It's not the greatest now in the grand scheme of things compared to a 30 series or anything like that. And obviously we have got a lot of graphics cards behind us, which we use for testing and retesting and stuff like that. Otherwise, I'd love to just grab one of these and give it to him. But 5700 XT is still an amazing little card. So we can then take that graphics card and put it into the slots in our case, slide it into the motherboard and lock it down. And then the beauty of this case as well is it has got a little cutout down here, so we can actually pass through our PCI Express cables, get them into the graphics card, and then the moment of truth, does it actually turn on? So, moment of truth, as I mentioned, always a weird one. Huzzah, of course it works. And, God, that sounds like a jet engine. That is, I can feel it. That is a lot of airflow, and you can probably hear how much airflow. Obviously, we haven't tweaked any of the fans. That is something that we're going to do, go into the BIOS and check it out. But I think it's safe to say that is looking very, very clean and very, very awesome. Obviously, we've got the PC. We did mention that there are some peripherals. So we've got the Nzxt lift mouse in black as well. It's almost like we thought about what we was doing here. So we have the mouse in black. We also have the capsule microphone, again, in black, so that you can join us on our Patreon game nights. There's no excuse, because every time Rich has actually joined us, he normally has to talk to us on his mobile phone, if I remember rightly. So we got the microphone for that. He's also got the function keyboard in black as well. So everything is going to look very, very nice indeed. On top of that, while the microphone is very, very good, we have also got the boom arm, which I'm just going to bring into frame here. So actually I can take this off, because that is the beauty of this. This is the Nzxt Boom Arm, so you can actually sort of go like this, you can tighten it up and sort of, have it stay there. Yeah, really, really good boom arm, but doesn't stop there. While Nzxt, Intel, Seagate, everyone else kind of involved with this, and even, the other member of our Patreon, Carlin, who sent over this graphics card, which I think is safe to say he's going to be very, very pleased. The fact that we are giving it away to someone in need, that is only one part of it, because the other part involves this. This is the AOC G-Line 3rd Gen 27-inch curved gaming monitor. It's got a 1000R curve on it. It's adaptive sync, 165 Hz, 27-inch gaming monitor. I mean, there really is no excuses now. So thank you very much to AOC for chipping in and basically making this possible to just, give him something even more. The fact that the monitor has a little bit of red on there and the fact that the graphics card has a bit of red on there, I am actually thinking this whole theme should be black and red, which I think is going to look extremely just amazing, awesome. It's going to be absolutely just next level. And I really, really hope that Rich is going to, be on our game nights a lot more. He's going to be extremely happy with this. And there's only really one way to find out. So, as I mentioned, it's Tuesday. And being Tuesday and saying to him, because I did kind of lie a little bit, I said to him that I'd be shipping this graphics card out on Thursday via special delivery, which means it would get to him on the Friday. But it's not going to get to him on the Friday by special delivery. I'm going to be delivering it myself. So, I'm going to have to leave the video there until Friday when you'll see us delivering this personally to Gookie. And yeah, it's going to be an exciting one. Never done anything like this before. So yeah, let's wait till Friday. Hello, mate. How you doing?
Jesus Christ.
How you doing? You all right?
Yeah, all good, mate.
Thought I'd come deliver your graphics card to you,
Okay.
but with a little bit of a difference. Just a little bit of a difference.
Yeah?
Yeah, just a little bit.
Oh, you're kidding me.
So yeah, you got a whole new PC.
Wow. That is awesome.
So we teamed up with loads of brands, and hopefully you don't mind the camera being in your face. AOC sent over a monitor, so you got a brand new monitor. Nzxt went all out, so they're giving you a microphone, so you got the capsule, because I know your microphone's been terrible. Keyboard, mouse, so that's the new keyboard and new mouse that they brought out last month. The case that you said you loved, do you remember that, the H7?
H7.
Do you remember I was like asking you kind of which one you'd have, what colour you'd have it in? This was why. This is why I was asking. You've also got, we reached out to Intel, so you've got a 12700K.
Oh, nice.
You've got the Nzxt Z690 motherboard in stealth black as well, because you said you like that one as well.
Yeah.
The graphics card is the graphics card I was going to send you, so it's the 5700 XT.
Yeah.
And that was actually given to me by someone else. So what happened was there was a guy on our Discord called Carlin, and he won a competition from MSI.
Right.
And he approached me probably about almost a year ago saying he wanted to give that graphics card to someone else who deserves it.
Yeah.
And I said, well, you could sell that graphics card. At the time, I think it was worth about 600 quid. He was like, no, give it to someone who deserves it. So that kind of then led me on to wanting to build everything. And yeah, Seagate, what they give us? 2 terabyte FireCuda 510 drive in there. So you've got 2 terabytes, so loads of space for games and stuff like that. You've got Z73 RGB AIO cooler, 850 watt power supply. So if you wanted to upgrade your graphics card at a later date, you've got plenty of like space and room and future proofing for it.
I'm overwhelmed, man. I feel like great. Seriously. This is amazing.
So yeah, the funny thing is, so many people knew about this apart from you. So I messaged your daughter on Facebook.
I knew about the graphics card.
So yeah, I messaged your daughter on Facebook about this, and that's kind of like organised it all and everything for today. All the other Patreons, loads of people on Discord all knew about it apart from you. The fact that we were going to do like the whole system. So yeah. So hopefully you like it.
Yeah, Jesus Christ, I literally got tears in my eyes.
So yeah, no, I thought, I could send you this graphics card, and it actually worked to our advantage because you finished work at 1. Royal Mail normally deliver up to 1. So we sort of said, oh yeah, by the time you get in, the graphics card will be here. And yeah, we drove down this morning.
My boss
like,
was actually late.
Okay, well we drove here at we left at 8:15 this morning to get here. So it took us 3 hours to get here to drop it all off to you. So yeah, even your family have like hidden your old computer and everything. Yeah, so you wouldn't walk in and like see it and wonder what's going on.
My little man ain't sat here because this is his chair.
He's been at the window looking over at this, and yeah, I think he's
probably in love with it.
Yeah, I think so. He sort of came over to get something. He was like, wow.
Yeah.
So yeah, hopefully it treats you well.
All I could say, mate, is thank you very much.
No problem.
That was amazing.
No problem at all. And yeah, I guess thanks to Intel, thanks to Seagate, thanks to AOC, and a massive thanks to Nzxt. I mean, the fact that Nzxt makes so many different components that work with this build.
I absolutely love this case.
Yeah. And the beauty is, we can actually hear you properly now because you have a decent microphone.
Yeah.
So yeah, no excuse to not join the Patreon game night that we have. So,
Yeah, well, I will be.
Yeah.
I need to basically get my Steam and Discord sorted.
Yeah, you need to get everything sorted on there, so you've got loads of time to sort that. So yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Thank you to all of our sponsors for making this happen. Hopefully, yeah, you look like you are.
I was so overwhelmed.
Yep. Brilliant.
Thank you, everybody.
There you go.
Seriously, thank you, everybody. This is amazing.
So yeah, I will say one
What this
thing.
means to me.
I will say one thing. Just because we've done it once doesn't mean we're going to keep doing this. So I don't want to see all the usual messages that we see of, can I get a free PC? Can I get a free PC? There was a very special reason why I did all this. So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, you know exactly what to do. Like and a sub to the channel would be amazing. And I'll see you in the next one. See you later, guys. Bye-bye.
Thank you.